So anyways, that's why you never buy underwear on Facebook Marketplace.
Well said.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also do not go to Bob's Bar after trivia on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's a
'Cause
bad choice.
that gets you in a bad place.
On your part, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, what time do you make it in today?
11.
I think you took a bit. Did you just take a vacation day?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Oof.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We are on ZZP Power Hour number 130. 130 of these boys. Today we're talking about Facebook Marketplace. Stories, experiences,
Highs and lows.
highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Today we got a new face on. You have seen Reed's hands on Facebook welding some things, and maybe his back, but...
And you probably own things that he has welded.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or if you're an avid subscriber, you've seen him in some of our shorts on fueling systems. And
Yes.
yeah,
He is
yeah, DIY stuff.
DIY
Yep.
guy.
I make things.
Yep. So we got Reed, we got Tim, me as always,
Randy.
and Randy. So,
Hello.
who wants to get started? Who's, I mean, Tim, you've been around the block. You've been selling things since Craigslist days.
Yeah.
As have I.
I mean, I don't have any real wild stories because I generally keep the things I sell decently upscale.
Yeah.
And I kind of sell things that normal people, when I mean normal, I mean literally normal people would buy. Like, I sell a lot of like race car parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my wife is probably more annoyed than anything. Like they'll show up to the house to buy these wheels or these tires. And then there's the 30-minute to 45-minute conversation in the driveway
So what are
about
they going
whatever.
on?
Yeah.
Yup.
And then you
Yeah.
get into it.
It only
Yep.
gets worse when you get to the Midwest too.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then it's like, hey, like, doesn't your brother know my cousin's
Yeah.
fathers? And you're like, just take the wheels and leave.
I think like most of them are pretty positive for me.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of good experiences. Like the last one was me selling the race tires off my Sonic, and the guy that showed up is a drift guy.
Oh, okay.
So like he was telling me all kinds of stuff. Like when I came in and was telling you guys about like I didn't personally know that these guys run like window washer pumps to their rear tires
to cool them down.
to cool them.
Yeah.
Not to
don't,
like make them spin easier, to like
Yeah.
cool the tires down in between runs.
Yeah, so they don't
tire
delam
life,
and
too,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Yeah. And he's got the he was like, this is what I run, and he like pulls it out of his truck, and it's this like eBay, Amazon TPMS kit
Yep.
that monitors tire temperature and pressure.
Yep.
So he
Really?
just watches that, does his drift run, and he's like, oh, rear tires are whatever degrees, I forgot the number, and he'll just run the window washer pump, cool them down, and then boom.
Wow. That's kind of handy.
That's pretty
That would
fancy
be
stuff.
That'd be cool for road course.
That's like Bugatti Chiron stuff.
Yeah.
Like temp and pressure all at the same time.
And Matt, yes, actually, I definitely spent some time in the Grand Rapids Press in the classified ad section.
Man.
That'd be rough.
Tim's listing a set of wheels with a chisel. And...
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know if I ever bought anything on there because, like, I it was a little sketchy. But with Facebook Marketplace, you kind of have a better feel for what kind of human being you're going to their house.
Yeah.
The vetting process is a lot nicer because you can be like, do I want to respond to this dude or no?
You're like, let's do a public meetup.
I don't want you coming to my house.
Yeah, I do like the marketplace better because you can at least like look at their profile and like, man, does this person look like a garbage person? Like, you have to start there because sometimes like I've had the Suburban listed just for fun to see like, hey, if anyone wants to buy it, great. And I get some people and I just look at it and I'm like, nope. Just
like I don't want to
delete
end
the
up in somebody's basement chained up,
Like
like
you got the people that they'll list their thing, price 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
yeah,
It's like,
and you're like,
I hate
Yeah.
that. So going back to old, I can't remember what car magazine it was, but one of them that I used to subscribe to when I was really young had a classified section in the back. And it was, you could sell your tires and your wheels.
Yeah.
And
I miss those.
Yeah, that was
I
good.
miss those. The Facebook ones are pretty okay. Like, for the ATSV guys, the F80 BMW M3 and M4 shares a very similar wheel width,
And offset.
wheel width and offset, and obviously bolt pattern to the ATS-V.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's another car I really like. So I'm on those classified pages, just waiting for one of those dudes to give me a really good deal on a set of HREs for the V.
Oh, I do want some HREs.
One of these days, I just, there was an awesome set. It just wasn't the one I wanted. So I was like, not quite
I
there.
could do it, but wouldn't be happy with it. I definitely, as I'm, getting older and then also, being more financially stable, I used to sell everything on Facebook Marketplace, like $5-10, just here and there's. And those people are the worst.
Yep.
Like, just the other day, Erica was cleaning out the garage and we had a bunch of stuff left over from the wedding. She's like, I just want it out of here. So she put a bunch of it up for free. And the amount of hassle that she had to go through to get rid of this free stuff.
Yeah.
Like rolls of tulle and wine glasses.
Yeah.
And
And they're like,
people,
will you bring it to me? And you're like, absolutely not.
it is free.
All the
you come
time.
to the house and you pick it up. It is sitting outside. Or I don't even take cans back anymore because it's such a friggin' hassle. And so now we just put them up for free. And yeah, same thing. People, oh, can you deliver them to me? If I was going to put them in my car and take them somewhere, I would take them to get money for them, not to bring them to you.
I
you
just
lazy ass.
just collect them until the neighborhood kids come around and they're like, we're collecting cans for
Boy
whatever,
Scouts,
and I'm like, heck yes, come on in, buddy. Like, man, like,
We got 40 bags down here.
what cracks me up is the whole Facebook Marketplace, like how it's set up. Like, I'll see stuff on there, like some chick will be posting like a used tank top for like $5.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? Throw it away.
Just Goodwill it. They're like,
I am.
Edible underwear.
Yeah, like if it's clothes, I'm bringing it to Goodwill.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with
don't
it.
Sell clothes or articles
I-
like that.
I sell shoes on there because I have too many shoes, but that's not too hard because you just leave them on the porch in the box and somebody picks them up, But
I do like porch pickup. That's my favorite type of marketplace.
because you don't have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I'm like, I will PayPal you or like Venmo you or whatever, and then I'll just come to your house, pick it up off your porch. That's the best type of interaction you could ask for.
When you mentioned Midwest, it just makes me think of last week when I went to go get campfire wood. There's a place on Fuller, and it's this little stand, and you drop $5 in and you take a bag of wood or whatever. So I show up, and there was no wood, and I saw the guy come out, and I was like, hey, you guys gonna have any later tonight? We were planning on having a bonfire. If not, no big deal, whatever. That turned into 45 minutes of us talking and him talking about his power strokes, and like I'm in his backyard and his kids running around, and I'm like petting his cat, and I'm like, this is some Midwestern stuff.
You're splitting the wood for yourself.
Yes, that'll be $20, please.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about the guy like you brought one of the Cobalts, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "How much do you want?" And you were like, $10 worth.
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right." And a whole wheelbarrow.
An entire wheelbarrow.
So Tyler's
overflowing, and we're just loading it in the back of the Cobalt. I mean, it was a good deal.
Yeah.
But Isaiah Al from the shop is coming out to the shootout. I don't know. I assume tomorrow, maybe tonight. But
He's leaving tonight.
yeah.
So he's just going out to spectate?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went last year. We had talked about bringing the Sonic, but I got to be in Frankenmuth tomorrow, so he'll just be there. We'll have a lot of customers there as well. I know a bunch of the Ohio dudes will be there. But Connor, here in the States, you technically are supposed to like market sold and whatever, and then at, what is it, $600 now?
Yeah, $600 or less, like total for the year, not per sale.
Yeah.
If you make more than $600, you got to report that to your.
So you just sell it on there and then hit nope, sold elsewhere.
Oh, no. Mine just says pending forever.
I just delete it.
Yeah, you can just pending and then delete, and then it goes away.
So I had a transmission out of my Miata that I was selling, and this guy, whatever, we had pretty decent communication throughout the week, and we had determined Friday after work, because he was like from Indianapolis or something.
Yeah,
He was going to
yeah,
drive
yeah.
a pretty good distance to come up here and get it. And pretty decent communication all week. And then I said, okay, well, tentatively we'll meet at Dollar General down the road, roughly around 5:30 Friday night. But get back with me Friday,
Yeah,
and we'll set like a real specific time.
Mm-hmm.
The week goes on, and then Friday goes on. I don't hear from the guy, which whatever. I'm like typical marketplace stuff.
Yeah.
And so I get home, and I'm, I mow the lawn, whatever. I'm messing around. I totally wasn't even thinking about this. And I was in my garage, and I kind of glanced at the transmission sitting there, and it was like 6:30 by this point. And I look at it, and I get this weird feeling in my head, and I'm like, I wonder if that guy's down there. Like, something just told me to think about this dude. So I drive down there. Sure shit. There's this dude sitting in a Miata an hour later after we had discussed, and he's just acting like everything's normal. And he's sitting on a laptop, and I go, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, oh, I was worried. I don't have a phone. So he had been communicating with me through Facebook, but he didn't have Wi-Fi or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I was about to go inside and ask someone if I could borrow their phone, but I would have had to log into Facebook and all this stuff. And he was just like acting like it was normal. He drove like 4 hours
With
without
no phone?
Yeah. So, but
What?
Yeah, and just paid me cash and left. He's like, "Thanks, man." I'm like, "Dude, you could have almost been waiting forever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went down there.
What? When was his cutoff?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
3 hours in, like
This Miata things, I guess.
That's such a
Was he
weird...
an older guy?
No, just a younger guy. Like, yeah,
That's
no phone.
crazy.
Just
What?
yeah. I don't know.
That is weird.
I can't even imagine not having a phone in
Yeah.
2023.
He just must be super laid back. Like he just didn't.
I mean, yeah,
It'd be nice
yeah.
some
but
days.
it's not possible.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of life.
I think the weirdest thing I've ever been offered, because you're selling something and somebody's always offering you some stupid trade. Like even if you say no trades. I used to sell a lot of cell phones on the side. I worked for Target Mobile and AT&T, so I sold them online. I sold them on Craigslist, on Facebook, whatever. And this guy one time is like, hey man, I got a lot of stuff to trade. And I was selling like a Galaxy S3 or something, and it was, I don't know, $300 or $400, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, I got a lot of stuff to trade. I'm like, what do you have? What you got? He's like, oh well, I live in the area. Let me just come by, and I'll bring some stuff. Like, I don't want to.
That ain't how it works.
That's like if I have coin, if you have wares type of thing.
Yeah.
Like he just opens up his van, like pick
And
from the inventory.
I told the dude, I'm like, I really don't want to trade anything. Cash is what I want, but let's meet up. And we met up at like a Saturday. This dude rolls in with a truck with a boat hooked to the back, and he goes, yeah, first thing I was thinking is this boat is probably worth about the $300 or $400 that you're asking for the phone. So you want a boat? And I'm like, what? What am I gonna do?
How do you even
with
come
this?
up with that? Trade? A boat for a phone?
And it was just like a little rowboat dinghy thing, and I'm like, I don't have anything to tow it. Second of all, no, I don't need or want a boat. And he's like, oh well, all right, let's check out what else I got. And he like opens up the trunk of his the bed of his truck, and he had a topper on it, and he had like a lawnmower and an old Xbox, like just the most random things. And I'm like, I'm not interested in any of this. Do you have cash? And he goes, no, I don't have any cash. So then he just left. He just took his boat with him. And
So that's like, is he like a pirate? Like he just drives around looking for barter deals? Like what?
don't know.
So
I don't know. It
confused.
was
That's
so
odd,
odd. And then the next week it was still up, and he started offering me more stuff. I'm like, no, just give me money. That's all I want. Yep.
Yeah, whenever I sell like cell phones or like iWatches or something, like I definitely meet at like a store.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Meyer
those
or
people
whatever.
you don't bring them to your house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. But like wheels and tires and like car parts, like I'll meet
Yeah,
them.
like car people, you're like, I can almost get along with any of
Yeah,
the
pretty
car
much.
people.
Yeah.
Like, You know.
That dude with the carbon fiber hatch for my Sonic.
Oh, yeah, Robbie.
Yeah, I showed up to his house and we talked for like 30, 40 minutes about, random cars. Like,
yeah, Robbie's good people.
He was cool. I don't know. I like selling car parts on Marketplace.
I will say, so I remember in college, we were trying to get rid of like our crappy couches from our terrible townhome that we were living in. And I was like, hey, like $100, come and get them. We already bought new furniture. It was coming.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. The weirdest thing I got offered was a lizard. Like
what type of lizard?
I don't look like a monitor, like a big? Like
what?
Not maybe like a half a Tyler. Like, dude, like, do I look
ready for that.
like a lizard person? Like, what about me screams that I would? What if I would have said yes? Where do I put it? Do I have to buy a terrarium?
A lizard for a couch.
Yeah, I was like,
that's an odd.
I was like, maybe he like breeds them. I don't know, but that was without a doubt the weirdest thing.
That's pretty weird.
I did buy some really cool stuff. I bought a $500 Tahoe once.
Oh.
Some guy was like, "Oh man, the transmission is destroyed." It was not destroyed.
Hey.
It was just a linkage issue.
Nice.
Yeah, guy was not mechanically inclined.
Yeah, you can find the deals. I feel like they're a lot harder now to come across.
Yeah,
people just jump on them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I check Marketplace like it's the morning paper.
Yeah. Yep. I've got my like saved like favorite
filters,
thing. Yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah, they send you the notifications.
Yeah, that's dangerous. So you could
Every single Cobalt that comes up in a 500-mile radius, I'm the first to know.
Yeah.
It was like morning paper type deal was how I found my blue Cobalt. I woke up and I had a notification and I'm like laying in bed and I was like, oh, it's blue. $1,500? Okay, yeah, I'll be there later today.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
What about your latest obsession?
Saabs. So there's this Saab 9.3 wagon out in Detroit area.
It's Sport Combi.
Yep, Sport Combi. It's the V6 2.8 turbo manual F40, and it's blue. And I know he's in the Cobalt world because I see him posting on stuff. If you're listening, you should be a little better with communication because I want to come see it this weekend.
Yeah.
But I really want that as the daily. I would get rid of the base model, or I say I would get rid of the base model.
Base model will stay in the garage where it's been for the...
Man, if I could give you any advice, Tyler, sell off some of these cars, man.
I'm trying. I need to actually list them is the problem. I haven't done that.
I think I was up to 5 and I sold 2 and I'm like, man, this is great. Like, I like having less vehicles.
Yeah. I think 3 is the right amount.
Yeah, I think
3 is right.
3 is good. I'm gonna get a 4th, but 3 is good. That's a nice level. Like, if this one is broken or I don't want to drive it, I could drive this one. And if this one's bad, I got an extra just in case. That's great. But 4 or 5 is too much.
Yeah, 5 is way too many right now, especially with our single lane driveway. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, your driveway kind of sucks.
It does.
I just hate having to deal with a couple things really, but car insurance is very expensive.
Yeah.
It's like what $80 to $120 a month per vehicle.
Well, like if you don't have a lien on the car, you just put it in storage. It costs me like it costs us like
$10.
I think it's 30 or something.
Mine's like 10 a month.
Yeah, it's real cheap. Like $30 a
month
month for this land yacht that I don't drive.
It's just frustrating though because like why have it if you have storage insurance on it?
Well, in the winter.
Reason, in the winter that's fine, but like it was kind of the thing with the base model. Like I loved my base model, but I didn't drive it enough to keep it.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess I'm just gonna have to sell this thing because I only drive it like once a week, and I don't want to pay for insurance to only drive it once a week.
Yeah.
Even though I really love the car.
Yeah.
So it's like I've learned like minimal.
You just don't pay for insurance on that. Just drive it once a week.
It's okay. The secret ingredient is crime. Just don't do it.
Yeah, that scares me. Just because of how Sue happy the world is. Like, oh boy.
Very true.
Somebody will hit you and it doesn't matter. If somebody hits you, whatever, if you do not have car insurance, it's your fault.
Yeah.
You get the ticket, you get sued, bad times.
Not fun.
going back to Facebook Marketplace stuff, everybody's had it. Put something up, and they hit the auto reply. Is this still available?
Hello, is it still available?
Yes, it's still available.
Yes, are you
and
interested?
then immediately the person dies. They get wiped off the face of the planet. Just, I don't know if it's a Thanos snap thing or what. As soon as they say the magic words.
No, the good one. Have you seen the troll where it's like, hello, is this still available? And then they say yes. It's like a Subaru Outback or something. They say yes, and then the person replies, I'm not surprised. and then they just go. So it's like, damn.
I'm not surprised.
Or when they respond like, is this still available? Yes, it is. I'm not interested. And you're like, why did
Stop
you waste my
texting me.
time?
And you're old.
Yeah, I just don't understand it whole.
I don't know if you guys know, but you can change that message to whatever you want, so it auto-populates whatever you want.
Oh, really?
So I changed
Really?
mine. I don't remember what it is, but I changed my statement to something slightly different to not annoy people.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
So then you see the people.
Can you change it to anything?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just gonna make that button. I'm an idiot. So when they press it, I'll be like, "Yep."
Oh well.
No, it's what you send them when you're interested.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I want to know what they're gonna say. I want to populate that.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. But no, like if you're interested in something, your auto response of "Is this available?" you can change that to whatever you want.
That's some big brain energy right there.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I definitely changed mine.
Yep.
Man, I must
wanna
not
do
sell on Facebook Marketplace enough because I do not know that.
I mean, it was one of those things where I was getting some kind of notification, and I got really deep into the back of the back room of Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, you can change that? That's cool. I'm going to change mine to something that doesn't piss people off.
Yeah. No, my latest obsession, marketplace wise, my top filter currently is pontoon boats. I want a tri-tune with like 3 425s on it.
What are you gonna pull it with?
The Encore.
Okay.
No, I have a Suburban.
Sure, okay. Your $500 Suburban.
No. That Suburban was more expensive, but it's still just a Suburban that sits on the driveway.
But when you got your boat,
But when I get the boat, it'll have a purpose.
and then you can go trade it for a cell phone.
Yeah, and then I'll go trade it for a cell
Full
phone.
circle.
Yeah,
It's all coming together now.
trade it for an iPhone 3GS.
I have this is weird and random. I have a brand new in the box iPhone 4 in my bedside drawer. Why? I don't know. I just acquired it working at AT&T, and it's brand new.
Dude, that's worth some money. That's right when Steve died.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Although he was after the 4S, I think.
I would definitely not sell that. I have an iPhone. That's
Ooh,
it.
OG iPhone?
I have
Like
an
the one with the
iPhone.
silver back with the black bottom?
chrome. Like,
Wow.
it is silver.
Yeah.
It's silver with the mismatched
It's got
bottom,
a capacitive
like white,
screen and not a resistive.
And it works.
Or sorry, a resistive versus capacitive.
and it works.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's
And
impressive for an Apple product.
Yeah, it's.
Be
I
that
have
old
it.
and still work.
Like, I'm just keeping it because I'm hoping it'll be worth something someday. You know?
There was a brand new sealed original iPhone that recently sold for $80,000.
Oof. Man, that's like 60 cobalts. You could buy so many cobalts with 80 grand.
I could have a lot of
Man.
I like where your head's at because we were just talking about this at lunch, like the love for just S boxes.
Yeah.
Like I understand your collection.
Yeah.
Believe me. I'm just trying to not do it.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it anymore. Like
It has
the
its
build.
ups and downs.
The build is so fun.
It is.
To
Yeah.
get this car, like, let's say you get this car and it's got like chrome underneath the window. So the window trim is chrome. And then it's got like badges on it. And you're like, all right, I'm going to debadge it and I'm going to wrap the chrome black. And like, you're just like, I just love that part of a car.
Yeah.
Like, that is so fun.
Yeah, like it's
But-
got crappy headlights and you put some fresh ones in.
Yeah.
and
Just
Yeah.
satisfying, like simple stuff. That
Yep.
just makes a big
Yeah,
It
you get a
sounds like-
t-shirt and you're off. Your little spray off can and you're spraying and buffing your headlights with
Yeah.
a t-shirt. Like, I just love all that.
Yeah.
It's a little introspective for the podcast, but it's like the journey is more fun
Yeah.
than
It kind
the
of
destination.
like yeah,
it kind of
exactly.
is like that Sonic that I bought. You know, I bought it for $1,800 or whatever, and it had a blown head gasket, and I learned how to work on 1.4s like internally like that. And I did all that, and then as soon as it was done, I was like, all right, time to sell it.
On to the next one.
Yep. Sold it to Kurt.
It's just fun. Like I've been hunting like rare Sonic parts for 5 or 6 years, and like I have a lot of like the rarest weird stuff on
You got
my
those
car.
upgraded washer nozzles, though.
Upgraded washer nozzles. You got carbon fenders, carbon hoods, carbon hatches, and people were like, I didn't know that was available. Well, it is.
Yeah.
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 That's all. That's all the fun part of the Facebook Marketplace. Like
That was probably
finds for me.
one of the best parts of having the base model was, you know, I wanted all the SS stuff because I didn't have an SS.
Yep.
And I mean, I went through like 3 or 4 front bumpers because I bought an unpainted one and then I bought a painted one. And I mean, I went down to Indy for side skirts in Ohio for rear bumpers, and like you get to meet some cool people and you know, stuff like that. OEM parts, easy to put on.
Like everybody loves a good deal. And like, especially with our niche platforms, when you find like stuff for your platform for a good deal, you're like,
I gotta go today.
The gods have smiled upon me. I have to go do this now. Like my rotiforms, those were like some place in like a Tire's Choice or something, like a tire shop or whatever. Somebody purchased rotiforms through a Tire's Choice, had them re-drilled to 105.
Wow.
Shipped to this place and never paid for them.
So they just sold them?
Yeah. And the guy was like, hey, I need to get these out, like they're an uninventoried item, blah, blah, blah. Give me, you know, whatever for them. I think he had it listed for like $1,000, and I was like, listen, I'll give you 6. And he was like, bet.
Come on down, yeah.
And I told him, I was like, listen, I can't get down there today or tomorrow, but I can come in the weekend. And he was like, I'll just ship them to you. I have a shipping account. And I was like, even better.
Perfect.
Oh, man.
Dang.
It was the best, like, Facebook Marketplace find.
Well, yeah, and there's no other vehicles that take 5x105.
Well, so my RSCs are re-drilled from 120 to 105. So they're like a BMW offset, and then
weird.
the 105s, which is weird.
That is one of my saved search / notifications.
5x105 wheels?
It's no, I don't do that because I'm not scared to re-drill them. But like just 17x9. Like anytime somebody posts something 17x9, like I'm getting a notification. Yeah. Like I'm just.
There
waiting.
was not local. It was Indiana, maybe. Some guy had a set of HREs and a 5x100, and I was like, kind of want that. A Sonic with HREs?
Wheels worth more than a car.
The seats are worth more than the car.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, you can't help but what you love. I mean, I've owned a lot of really nice cars, and that dang Sonic outranks them.
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
You just can't help it. It happens.
I don't know. Cars just are a different world. If you weren't brought up with, you know, the silver spoon and the driving your daddy's Mercedes and all that fun stuff, just the little S-Box cars are so much fun.
Yeah.
You cannot beat them.
It's just built, not bought.
Yeah.
It just goes back to that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to a lot of the cars ZZP works on, let's say the old 3800s, the Cobalts, the Sonics, the Cruises, like one great thing about those cars is they're great driver cars that you can just jump in and you don't necessarily feel guilty starting it up to go to the gas station.
Yeah.
The wife is like, I need a friggin' jug of milk, like right now because of this. I'm working on this recipe. I need this milk.
Yeah.
Like when you have an M6, you're like, I gotta let it warm up. I feel guilty driving it to the gas station.
You gotta worry about the door dings when you get there. You park far away.
Yeah, and it's just great getting in the Sonic. And the thing is that my Sonic, I think, is just as nice as my other vehicles.
It's a nice car.
But mentally, I don't have the stress of worrying about driving it.
Yep.
And I think that's why I love, like, you know, modding a Cobalt or a Sonic or whatever.
Yep.
You know, you have too nice of a car, and you're just like, I don't want to get stone chips or whatever.
Drive it in the winter.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the salt off from it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do that to my Sonic because I just don't like salt. I have a winter car for that.
I bought mine in
Can't avoid
Texas.
it in Michigan.
I bought mine in Texas. I got it here. I run it through a car wash like once or twice a week, every single week. And when you get under that car, you cannot tell it's been through 2 Michigan winters.
Yeah.
Like there is not a speck of rust. Like I don't even know if there's any surface rust underneath that car. It's ridiculous.
I haven't been under your car in a while.
Mine is clean, like super clean.
Yeah.
It's
I need
all
one of
about
those.
like garage kept,
Yeah.
and car washes and underbody washes.
Mhm.
You do that, you pretty much don't have to worry about rust.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're parking over grass or dirt, you are.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's gonna get rusty.
It's gonna get pretty crusty.
If it's outside in the winter, it never really has a chance to dry out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sit in the garage overnight and like drip dry,
Yeah.
you know. And that's key. But I do love Facebook Marketplace, like, you know, the carbon hatches, the carbon hoods. Like, I just love just like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna search Sonic, you know, in parts, you know, and you just click it and you just see what you come up with. Like, there's just some crazy stuff on there.
What's your guys' limit for distance that you'll
Ooh.
travel?
Depends on the product.
Yeah.
What about for a whole vehicle? Like if you're looking for a new vehicle.
I mean, go to the other side of the state if it's a good vehicle. Or sorry, the other side of the United States if it's
I'll let
the vehicle.
everybody else answer. And
Like, Tim does not buy stuff from Michigan.
Yeah.
Smart.
He's
A
like, I buy
hard
from
pass.
Texas and that's it.
like, I have sent my dad to Arizona. I've had him look at vehicles in California.
Dang.
He's gone to Texas. My dune truck, he actually, like,
Oh, that's right.
him and I drove down there to pick up the dune truck, and then I bought it incomplete, and then the guy, like, messaged me a couple weeks later, and he was like, do you want the rest of the parts? And I'm like, yes.
Surely
So I
do.
sent my dad there again to pick up the rest of the parts. Like, so I
Which,
mean, thousands of miles.
That truck is for sale, folks, if anybody's interested.
Yeah. I'm sure nobody cares about dune trucks on here.
It is the coolest F-150
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
that I have seen.
We drove to Southern Ohio for Erica's car.
That's good. That's pretty rust free.
Oh my gosh, that car is like immaculate underneath.
Mhm.
It,
You don't have to go very far south to
No.
not have rust.
yeah.
It's called the Rust Belt.
I think that's the farthest I've gone. But yeah, I mean, one time I drove. I think the side skirts for the Cobalt was the sketchy one. I drove out to somewhere in Indiana or Ohio, and it was like, 3-hour drive or something like that. They were black side skirts. I'm like, cool, I don't have to paint them. And I show up to this dude's house, and it was the first and only time I was ever like, do I really need these? Because I like drove by, and I turned around and sat in the road for a minute. I'm like,
Is this worth my life?
Yeah.
Um,
The dude was looks like he did some meth, but
that's messed up.
He sure needed that money.
But
he did. But I bought him.
But
There's
like
no
a true white boy,
Yep.
you went there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And you bought those skirts.
Of course. And they were like laying in the yard and all muddy, and I'm like, I don't even care, just fucking
Just put 'em in the
yuck 'em
car.
there, and I gotta go. See you, bye.
I've got a similar story because I am equally bad. So, this is back when I was looking at my BMW. It was a 5 Series 550, BMW 550.
okay.
And I found this one that was like the exact color combo I wanted. White with the black and brown
Ooh, yeah,
interior.
yeah.
Like, this thing was sweet. And so I'm in Texas. And Texas, man, like, it's sketch.
Yeah.
There is some sketchy parts of
When
Texas.
you get out of the big cities in Texas, it's weird.
So Reggie, my buddy Reggie and I, we're in his truck and we're driving out to the, go find this 550, and we get out to like, I don't know, like way super country, dirt driveway. It's one of those driveways that goes back like a half mile, and then there's like address 1 on this side, and then you go another quarter mile and there's address 2. I get to a mobile home. Like, my wife is probably listening. She's going to kill me. I get to a mobile home that doesn't even really have a driveway.
It's just plopped.
This
in the
guy
middle
just
of
has,
the land.
this guy has cars just plopped in random areas of this neighborhood. Well, my friend Reggie's black, and he's like not the guy that goes and does dumb stuff like that. So he pulls his handgun, and he's like, I'm going to have my handgun right here and you just wave your hand, and I'm coming, and you better be running, and we're gonna get in this truck. Like,
raise your hand. Put a sign.
Tim's like telling a story and goes like this, and Reggie's like, "All right."
And he's like, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. And I'm like, well, I can see the cars right there. Like, you're in here. You've got your pistol. Like, I'm gonna go talk to the guy.
Fine.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
The guy was fine. It's just the car sat too long in the woods.
Ooh.
And I was too nervous about buying a car that sat in the woods for a long time. It had that like underhood dust.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
been like sitting there for like
Pollen and stuff.
6 months
Yep.
kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't want to get into the squirrel's nest, mice, birds, like.
Oh yeah.
But it was definitely the sketchiest thing.
Some of those are like the best deals though.
Yeah.
Like if someone's got like a picture that's like all blurry from like a dumb angle,
Yeah.
and like the description's really poor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
That
good
was
one.
so bad. It was so bad. Definitely the worst thing I ever did. And after I was done, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. It was a good deal though. It was $2,500.
No title.
It was $2,500, and like the tranny didn't work. It was like a $14,000 car. Like the thing was legit. But I'm like, I don't know how to get this out of this woods,
Yeah.
and the nests and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna pass on this
I'm
one.
just gonna. That's my Tahoe was from a similar area. Like I was like, oh, it's $500. I'm gonna go check it out. I went by myself because
Yeah.
that's what
as
you
we
do. And I showed up to a mobile home park though, many mobile homes.
Yeah.
Just 90, I don't know, a bunch of them. And the gentleman who sold me the car comes out, no shirt on, like
Class.
gym shorts with like a Coors Light, like, and I'm trying to just make the deal, get the like, hey, I'll snag the title, I'll give you the money, I'll come back and get it later. And the guy's like talking to me and like, I try not to pass judgment on people, but he's like digging in his belly button and like, I'm like, just give me the damn title, man.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
sign the thing.
And I give this guy $500 cash.
Just don't touch anything else.
I'm like, just lock it and just give me the title. And I give this guy $500, $500 bills.
Yeah.
And it's like the most money he's ever seen in his life. Like I was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I just want the truck.
My first Ion I got was from a mobile home park as well, down in
There's a trend.
Dean's yelling at us right now.
Let's get you about mobile homes. Hi, Dean.
No.
Hey, Dean.
Modular homes are great.
No, like
Single wides, not so much.
my experience was definitely a single wide, and it was way too far back in the woods.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
way too far back.
Like just far enough to where people can't hear you scream.
Like he was like,
Or gunshot.
do not break line of sight.
Yeah.
Reggie was in the truck and he was like, do not break line of sight. Like he was not happy with me.
But
he like turned the truck around before I got out. Like he was ready to rock.
Yeah.
I have kind of an opposite of that. I found a used engine for sale, Miata engine, over in Grosse Pointe.
Yep.
Very nice area on the east side of the state. And at the time, my daily was a 98 LeSabre.
nice.
Burgundy on burgundy.
Ooh.
Blown
Yes.
suspension. Like this thing
Oh,
was
yeah.
a pure hoopty. I found this engine on a Friday, and I'm communicating with the guy on Marketplace. All right, well, I'll get it tomorrow. Come over there tomorrow. Well, I'm like, shit, how do I get this thing? I got this great idea that I'm going to take the passenger seat out
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
of the
yeah.
LeSabre.
We've all done that.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Go over there, and I get there, and the guy's like looking in the drive, like comes up. He's basically like, "Are you lost?" I'm like, "No, I'm here to get this engine." He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry. Here it is." So he opens the overhead door, and there's just a Miata on a lift sitting there, and the picture was of an engine like on a stand.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got something to do today. My son's gonna help you pull the engine out." I'm like,
What?
Yeah. So I'm like, the engine's in the car. Yeah, but I got a lift and everything, whatever. So we spend like the entire afternoon into the night pulling this engine out, and his son's got a freaking Sawzall and like doesn't care. And I'm like, be careful,
Yeah.
whatever. So we finally, it's like 10 p.m. We get this engine out, load it into my passenger seat, and I was beat from the day. Like I was not expecting to pull an engine. So I go home, and the GPS on my phone says like estimated time of arrival. You'll be there in like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Well, I'm driving. I get this great idea that I'm gonna beat the GPS and make it under 2 hours. So I'm mobbing my LeSabre, 98 LeSabre, home, and get pulled over. These two cops come up to me, and the one cop's like, I had you at 98. I clocked you at 98. And he's like, he literally said, he goes, are you sure this thing is safe to be going those speeds? No, I'm not kidding. It was that much of a hoopty. Yeah. And then he's got his flashlight, and he's looking around, the engine. And he sees the engine. He's like, the dude's probably thinking, this is the weirdest traffic stop. And he's like, is that engine for this thing?
Like, yeah, just in case it blows up.
It's for something else.
Do the swap.
But I think he ended up just giving me a ticket for like 80 or something. I think he was just shocked that like I had insurance, I wasn't a felon, like it was like a normal traffic stop, and he sent me on my way. Pulled over, 98 with an engine in the passenger seat.
That's funny.
An old Buick,
the old Buick.
I would say I've had more positive experiences than negatives.
Yeah.
Like sure. I've definitely had those times where you're going to buy something. I don't remember what. Oh, it was one of my best deals of buying a SUV in Texas and driving it to Michigan and having it sold before I even was in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
I bought a $3,500 like Denali, a suburban Denali, whatever that thing is, and I go into this neighborhood, and we're talking like $5 million houses in Texas. Just I'm driving in this neighborhood, and I'm like, holy crap.
Chuckles
and there's this one house with this like suburban in the front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap. Like, so I've had a lot of those experiences too. Like, just dude had like a Maserati in the garage, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's my son's car, like that's the one I bought him, and it was something cool.
Maserati Quattroporte or something.
And I'm like, holy crap. Like, I've had a lot of those too, which is neat.
Yep. Yeah. Whenever you find what seems like a better than average deal, and then they give you your address, and they're like, oh yeah, just come to the house, and you pull into the neighborhood, and you're like, aha, this is a good deal.
Yeah. That was I bought some Klipsch like surround sound speakers for when I lived in Orlando, and it was like one of those deals where you're like, there's no way.
Yeah,
it's like no way. $200 for like these $2,000 speakers, whatever they are. And I'm like, hey, I'm interested. Like, I'll come pick him up today. Gives me his address, and it says, what is it? Riverwood or something, Riverwood, Florida. And I'm like, it's like 30 minutes away. I type it in. I get there. It's like a gated community. I go in there, pick up the speakers. I'm like, this house is $3-4 million home. I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, Tiger Woods has a house right down the street. And I'm like, this is the greatest deal ever. Do you have anything else here?
What else are you selling?
Yeah,
are you interested in my wares?
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, so I upgraded to something better, and I was like, at that time, I was like, better than these Klipsches?
Yeah.
There's nothing. Okay. But he had like a full wall system. It was ridiculous.
You guys ever have this was more of a Craigslist experience for me back in the day, but you'd show up to look at a car, and there'd already be someone there looking at it. Like they invited multiple people, and you're like, really? I just leave. Like it's not even worth. Like, what do you want? Like a bidding war? Like person?
We all stand here and raise our hands.
Yeah, you get there and they give you like a card with a number on it, and you're like,
I think that's what they think is gonna happen or something. But
and Noah, that's happened to me before too. I get to a sketchy part, and they're like, just come in the house to pick up this whatever.
So my
Xbox One hard pass.
My first Ion that I bought at this trailer park, we show up and I see it, and we got there late, so it was 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and it's like just getting dark, and so I'm like, I can't really see the car, and I'm checking out, but it was $2,000, and it was running and driving, and I was like, I've always, I had my base model, I always wanted an SS or whatever, and so I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, can I drive it? We look it over, it looks fine enough. was like, can I drive it? And he's like, nah, but I'll take you for a ride. And Erica's with me. And I'm like, okay, I guess. You know, I got to know that it runs and drives. So he takes us out of the park and then gets on this back road and just starts bombing.
Wailing on it.
Like, I mean, slamming forth, like, down these curvy, right. It's dark. It's Michigan.
This
so I'm
isn't
like,
how I normally drive.
This thing's babied.
it's just, wee! And Erica, I'd see her in the back. She's just like, no, get me out of here.
In baseline, Erica is like that.
Yeah.
No, get me out of here.
Yeah, that's her
But-
anxiety level already. And so he's like, yeah, it runs real good, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we get back to the house, and he's like, all right, what do you think? And I'm like, I got to settle down here for a second, but yeah, I think I'll take it. And then he invites me in, and I walk in, and the roof has, like, collapsed, and he's got a tarp on the roof, like, covering it, and it was $2,000. There's $2,100 bills, and he recounted that money, like, 4 times. The dude he must have been needing some money, but,
I mean,
you know,
we all go through our
Yeah,
trials and
yeah.
tribulations,
But, man, he's just like, yep, that's 2,000, all right. And then he counts it again, and I'm
Couldn't believe it.
like, I can't believe this kid's gonna be $2,000 for this pile.
it was a pile. And then
I wonder how many lottery tickets he bought.
Oh man.
Don't they call them scratchers? here?
scratch offs, yeah.
Man.
And we got in the car, and it needed gas, so we stopped at the gas station, and Erica is still shook. She's like, I cannot believe we just did that, and we didn't hit a deer, and we didn't die. I'm
Runs
like,
great, doesn't it?
I was like, yeah, it's part of the thrill.
That's pretty funny. That reminds me of a story. Bo, too bad he's not here to tell it, but he was looking at buying his the Subaru that he found on Facebook
Okay.
Marketplace, and he wanted to do some kind of rally cross race with it or something.
Is it the snow thing during the winter?
Probably like a
I don't
snow
know.
cross or whatever. He wants to buy this car. It's like a beater, all-wheel drive Subaru, so it'd be a blast to race in. Well, it was from Ryan Langer,
Yep.
our local Ryan
Oh,
Langer.
nice.
And
This
Ryan
is before
Langer,
Bo worked here, and
Okay.
probably he didn't know. I'm sure he didn't know who.
he didn't know him yet.
Yeah.
So he shows up to look at the Subaru. Ryan Langer has Langer Racing. He does dune truck stuff, and he is an amazing freaking rally style driver. He's worked on like actual legit rally racing teams. He was like on the pit crew, and he gave Bo a ride that Bo probably should have paid him for in this car. And then in the end, he's like, "So do you want it?" And Bo's like, "No."
Certainly don't. And Langer's
not
probably
after
like,
that.
yeah, that's a good choice.
What's the saying? Like garage kept, old lady driven.
Yeah. Only driven to church on Sundays.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, that car was something special.
Man, last time I was down at Langer's, he had that. Was it the F350 they were working on? That thing looks like a freaking unit.
A 350 that they're going to jump?
Yeah, it's a 350.
It was a brand new,
not
21 or 22.
Yeah, it was like a 22 F350.
So like a $80,000,
And-
$100,000 truck.
And it's a platinum too. I think it was a platinum.
Sure
truck.
was.
Yeah. Yeah, like it had full Willwoods all the way around. It had 8-piston Willwoods up front. The rotors were like 18 inches.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Anyways, I got to go down there and look at that truck next time.
Pretty much any day. My truck's sitting there with a for sale sign in it, and I go there to talk to Ryan, and I'm just like, holy crap! There's like 3 $200,000 trucks right here, right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like just sitting here
There's
right
that,
now.
that orange cat eye that's been
Yeah,
out
I
there.
like that one.
That thing looks like a
Slanker's truck. Yeah, that's a performer.
That
for sure.
Slanger, is that Langer's like alter ego or something?
No, no, that really is.
It's his Wario character. Wario.
He's the guy that hit our loading dock. Like he rounded the corner at 28th Street and punched it full throttle and hit the loading dock.
Woo.
They said there were frame marks that were past the next building.
Oof.
Like we're talking like. I'm trying to think of quick math, but like we're talking like 100-foot jump kind of deal.
Quick math.
Dang.
Like, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he
no.
didn't know. It was like his first time of hitting it, so he's like, I don't know how fast to hit it. I think, yeah, our loading dock was what, maybe a little short of 3 foot,
Yeah, tall.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 foot tall,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had a nice ramp. I mean, we hit my truck in it, a couple of my trucks on it. Like,
Allegedly.
well,
That
Ryan was driving
gone
both
now.
of them.
That F-150's
I
been
was-
babied its whole life, so
Yeah, I'm selling an F-150 and it's never hit that loading dock.
Yeah. We're talking about a different one, a different truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got rid of that though, and
Yeah,
the
I
whole
know.
local community is really upset
but
about it.
now we have a retention pond.
Now we got a
Yeah,
pond.
we do have that.
I would like to jump something out of that. Yes, that is Reed. He is a fabricator.
Yep.
He's the guy with the pink gloves.
He's got the pink gloves. They look good on camera.
Like, I think we have some time. Yeah, we've
we
got
got
a
10
couple minutes. Like, Reed, tell these people what you are doing in your garage right now.
Oh, yes.
Talking about the holy Miata.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just putting a 4-cylinder into my Miata.
Yeah, it's all
It
the same.
is. It is.
It
It
is
does
a
have
4-cylinder.
cylinders.
It's all, it's been done before, so
Yeah.
yes.
Just is it a 1.6 liter?
1.0.
Oh, it's just a
Oh,
liter.
1 liter 4-cylinder.
Man,
huh?
that's a downgrade.
Yeah,
How
so
many
that's
RPMs does that spin to?
13K.
Nice.
Man,
Yeah.
it's a weird sounding rotary.
This guy had a Gen 2 Miata, and he was like, I'm gonna buy a perfectly running and driving motorcycle to steal the engine and tranny out of it and put it in my Miata.
Yep.
And I am so excited about this.
It's going to be friggin' sweet.
Yeah.
And as if the old iteration of the Miata wasn't cool enough. Like, that thing was so clean.
Yeah.
We drove it here that one day, and I'm like, this is the one? Like,
This
with
is
the
the
slicks?
one?
We got to tell this day. We
You're
got
gonna
to
do
talk about this day. So we hired this fabricator guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a Miata. I turboed it," and we're like, "Bring it in."
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a long time, but like he finally brings it in. He brings in this super clean
The
Miata,
cleanest Miata I've ever seen.
that
slicks and
NA or NB?
skinnies,
NB.
NB.
Yeah.
slicks and skinnies.
He drives past the
Like-
shop with his arm hanging out the window.
Wasn't it like standalone? Like
Oh yeah.
it's standalone,
Yeah.
like turbo swap,
Big
like
top mount. Yeah.
oh, it was freaking sweet.
Yeah,
And
it
we're
was
like,
sweet.
what the heck? Like, and then he pulled that engine. He's like, I don't want this anymore. I want something new. I want to do something unique. And he bought a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The turbo Miata stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's been done.
Yeah.
Basically, like it's kind of at its final form. Like you build the engine, you put a giant turbo on it, you do a hood exit.
Mhm.
Like they make 400 or 500, whatever. But I don't know.
It's a little cookie cutter for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to that point
Mhm.
over the years. So, because I've been into Miatas since like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So owned, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them.
Did you ever have a supercharged Miata?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to drive one
Oh,
of
I've
those.
driven one with the Jackson kit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the kits for them. Yeah.
They're
That would be
pretty
fun.
They're pretty stinking good.
There's a good reason. Like, well, I guess I did drive one. I drove Noah's Speed
Yeah.
Miata NB. And I was like, oh man, like get me out of this thing. Like
'Cause
I'm
I
going to
need
buy
it.
one tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's why Miata is always the answer.
man, it really is.
They're so tiny though. Like I'm
Yeah.
like 6 foot, and it's
It's my problem
Nah.
is we talked about it today. Practicality.
Yeah.
If something's not practical, I'm like meh.
yeah. I put winter tires on that beater Miata I had, and you think, oh yeah, winter tires, but you ain't
No.
going anywhere in the winter. Like it's so light.
Yeah.
So
It's
Do
funny.
you have a race seat in it yet?
yeah, I have
forgot.
Kirkies.
Kirkies?
Kirkies,
I mean,
man,
that's
that's
like
and you
the-
still barely fit.
Well, that's for this next build. I put Kirkies in it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And you mounted them like to the floor
Oh
pan.
yeah.
So you'll actually fit.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Because
And I'm modifying all the pedals too for the swap, so
Mhm.
I can get a lot of.
Ooh, you
lot of
doing like a
room.
nice pedal
like
box?
pedal box, yeah, like Will.
No,
No.
but the like the bike uses a cable clutch,
Yep.
so I have to build a different clutch pedal setup and whatnot. So
Mm.
That is so exciting. I can't wait to get a ride in it.
I can't wait for you to do that and then turbo it later.
yeah,
Um,
fry the clutch.
that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chunkier Mango brought up the whole Ecotech Miata thing.
Ooh.
Like, I have been so in for that.
Oh,
Like,
me
We had
too.
one in a while ago, right? The 2.4,
Yeah.
the LE5
Yep.
car.
I would be so in for an NA 2.4 ITBs,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
big cams, high rever,
Yep.
super light.
2,000 pounds. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that one that it was a couple years back that Al and I dynoed. It was just a stock LE5,
Yep.
but he had, a race wheel, race seat, nice shifter, like super nice shifter. And this was before I had started doing any tuning, and Al was tuning it, and he was like, "I can't fit in it. You drive it on the dyno." And I remember I was sitting there and I was sending like Snapchats and taking photos, and I was like, "This is the best day of work ever. I need one of these."
Best day at work. This is a Tyler
No,
size
that's
car.
just like a normal Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Pretty
just
much.
made mid 400s on the Sonic. Like,
Yeah.
we got the podcast in 10 minutes. Let's
Yeah,
do one more hit. All
That's
right.
the one thing.
Did you try my cam tables yet?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Man, I told Al.
I push the
try
loud
this.
pedal. That's what I do.
Ah,
LSJ Triumph Spitfire.
Oh, that's cool.
that would be neat too.
My
You have one?
Send us pictures of that.
Send
Yeah,
pictures
Dan.
of that for the next week's podcast.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, if I totally forgot to mention it at the beginning, Rate My Ride is next week, so you have another week to get your submissions in. Ryan Derek's gonna be talking.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that's just a blanket statement.
yeah. But
Derek's gonna
Yeah,
be-
like
But yeah, my father-in-law has a 78 or 72 MGB, and
Yep.
that
Yeah.
car is a blast to drive, even though it has like 64 horsepower. Like it is the most underpowered thing
The
on the planet.
MGBs, they make a 3.6 swap kit for. Like,
Yep.
marketing is easy to yep. They make a 3.6 swap kit from the Camaros. Like the
high feature V6.
Yeah. They make a swap kit for them, and they are ridiculous.
yeah.
That
They are-
fits in there.
Kind of. You gotta cut
Kinda.
some stuff.
But putting an Ecotech in one of those would be mint. Al has some. Oh, Dan, are you the one that autocrosses it? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's pink, maybe, or maybe that's the LNF powered thing. I don't know. We had some customers send us some photos of his LNF powered, like pure autocross car, like no windshield. It's based on some older car, but it's pretty killer. And it's on like 13-inch slicks. Like,
Nice.
Mm.
I love unique swaps. Like one fortunate thing about me being our almost full-time tuner is like I get to like customers send pictures. Like we're talking Caterhams with like 1.4 swaps.
yeah, yep.
We've got that guy that's been in a bunch of magazines with his Hot Wheels LTG powered vehicle.
Oh,
It's all made out of like aluminum round stock.
yes,
Like,
yes.
Yep, I've
Like-
seen that one.
We've tuned some neat stuff.
Yeah, we get some cool cars in here.
He said no orange.
Orange.
Definitely send us pictures.
Oh.
We love seeing that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I remember this car.
LSJ2, that means you gotta have cams and valve springs and rev that thing to like 8,000
Yeah.
RPM.
I'm still looking for a project to put a turbo LSJ in.
Yep.
I just want something.
Turbo
that
LSJ,
I can
all
put
the
an
things.
LSJ in. I really just want maybe a 50s vet or something like that, and put a turbo LSJ. That's-
Mike and his
that's,
80s Nova.
That's his pipe dream. There is the 80s Nova.
I had an 81 Corolla. That was pretty sweet. It had the
You see that,
original
Randy?
engine, but that would be fun with a motor swap.
Land Rover V8 into an MG.
Ooh, that sounds like
What?
a bowl full of problems.
Well, the
See-
MG. There was a factory V8
Ridiculous.
MG.
Hi, would you like to make this thing
Wait.
less reliable than it's ever been?
Isn't a
Put a
Land
Land
Rover?
Rover-
Isn't a Land Rover 5 liter a Mustang 5 liter?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, same
Oh.
thing. So that's a sweet engine. It sounds amazing.
As long
see,
as you don't
I'm-
take any of the Land Rover electronics over
Yeah.
from it,
Yeah.
That's
For sure.
what will get you.
yeah, they're
See-
the alpha of off-road things.
Yeah.
Hard pass for me. Like if I'm gonna have a small little car, like I want a high strung NA
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4-cylinder in it. Like I am in. Like I'm so in. Like that's why I was
Speaking-
so interested in yours. And I'm like, man, a Miata with like a Hayabusa motor or something like that, like, whew, that would be sweet.
Yeah, Sebastian, Ecotech. I can't talk.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Ecotech.
Swapped S Series has always been a pipe dream because I was a S Series boy. But on that, one of the guys that I met through the sixfear.com has a turbo TVS LSJ S10, and it is
Okay.
It's like wire tucked and.
Is that Dan? Bob's Bar.
Yeah. That's why the brain is smooth.
No folds.
No, I know his screen name is Green Monster, but Jay Green.
Is it the one that was at Grid Life?
No.
Oh, that's the K Series one. I'm
Yep.
sorry. K Series S.
But yeah, I put an LSJ in everything. It's great.
Yeah, I just want to own an LSJ thing, and they don't make them in sedans. So I just got to yoink the motor and put it in something else.
I'll sell you one.
Sobs.
It's blue. Yeah, Sobs.
There's a sedan for you.
207R.
That's a good point.
I mean, you have to deal with the fiber optic speaker wires, but you know.
Yeah. You don't need sound when you got an LSJ under the hood. You know what I mean?
True.
It is funny that because I've been looking at Sobs, Facebook, of course, has been pushing Sob groups on me now, and it's so funny because we know the LSJ as it came. You know, you can make 450 plus all day long stock engine.
Don't let the magic out.
Yeah, don't let the magic out. It's great. All the Saab groups, because they came with the world's smallest turbo and exhaust manifold, they all blow up. And they're like, the 207 is a horrible engine. Like, never get into modding it and all this. And I really would, I want this blue one. But if I end up with a 207 one, put a T3 manifold on it, put some bigger turbo on it, and be like, hey guys, here you go.
Look.
And all the Saab.
If you don't try to push all this heat through this tiny little
through this.
I mean,
it's great.
It's kind of the same as the Sonic. Like, the Sonic market sucked until Al put a freaking a boost gauge on the turbine manifold.
And you're like, oh, it's a 5-to-1 back pressure.
Yeah,
ratio.
like, oh,
there's 100 psi in here. What?
Like, let's say real numbers, like 60 plus psi of exhaust pressure on the stock turbo. Like, we're just like, well, I think we found the cork.
Yeah.
Like, here we go. So let's do something about this. And
here we are.
Speaking of high revving 4-cylinders, we might have some more high revving Sonics here soon with some R&D things we've been working on for for the 3 1.4 people that are watching.
Yeah, like I can't wait. Like Al's gonna do some valve train work to my car, so I stop kicking rockers when I decide I don't want to shift. That'll be
your
exciting.
limiter a little lower.
And
no, I'm gonna have fancy valve train. I am not lowering my rev limiter.
There you go.
I'm gonna go to 8191.
Yep, that's all you can.
Right where Tyler likes to live.
It's great. I love seeing logs of a shift, and I'm at 8187.
It's like,
I'm like this close to blowing it up.
The morning that I was logging my Green Sonic and HP Tuners had a glitch or something, and it said that I was like idling at 7,000 RPM, and I did a pull, and it was like 14,100, and I was like, I'm gonna save that screen grab.
Heck yeah!
Just in case you guys ever want to hear a 1.4 at 14,000 RPM.
14K.
Well, see, Chunkier, you can raise the rev limiter to whatever you want, but the computer doesn't like hitting 8192.
It's a hard code, whatever hexadecimal
it
thing
gives you
uses.
a bunch of U codes.
It shuts the whole thing down.
It gives you every code that the ECM can produce.
I mean, the ECM can't just go to infinity.
Yeah.
No.
There are limits, and 8192 is the limit.
It is.
Until we put a standalone on one.
Speaking of limits like that, this kind of a little off topic, but I was listening to this podcast, and they were trying to tune the C8 Corvette, and they were having problems. They would flash it, and then if the PCM could connect to Wi-Fi, it would revert back to its stock tune.
Oh yeah.
What?
Like, imagine having to fight
was that Sissio who was doing it? Who was
I think it was Faster Proms.
Faster Proms.
Ah.
I don't know. It's just getting crazy. With
Cars are
It
too
is getting
smart.
crazy.
Yeah, getting into these.
So
factories.
the actual PCM
or
the
it had
car's
its, I think the car
diagnostic.
had its own network.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
like Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, Wi-Fi
Well, that's
direct.
because
connected
they
to
can do
that.
like over-the-air updates and
Yeah.
stuff
Yep.
like that.
So
for your
it
car.
did over-the-air
Yeah.
update itself back to
Mhm.
the stock file. That's just nuts.
That
Yeah, I
is
heard
nutty.
about
Yep.
that too.
Don't
The
like that.
the first person that tuned a C8 got it all tuned on the dyno, got it like working, drove it home, woke up the next morning, and it was back to stock.
Oh, because they parked it in their garage.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that does
Dang.
happen. So what's cool for us, like us as customers, you as customers, as it just improves the value of our cars.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
our cars are just, you can do whatever you want.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
our stuff, but this new stuff, like you buy a C8 and you're pretty limited.
It is.
That and you can tune them now if you have, I don't know, $3,000 to
Yeah.
unlock
Yeah.
the computer.
And then
Yeah.
pay someone to tune it on top of
That
that.
that Global B,
Ooh.
we all got excited in the office that morning. They were like, we are unlocking Global B, and we were like, yeah! And then we saw all the credits that you had to use, and we were
You
like,
gotta send it
"Ooh."
in. You gotta
Yeah, the
it's
first
12
one that-
credits.
The first one that blew me away was, I believe, the C7 ZR1.
Mhm.
It was like $3,000
Uh-huh.
to have a stock file that you
Yep.
can change.
Mhm.
I
I mean,
was
I
like,
suppose if you can
oh
afford
boy.
a Z06 C7 or a C8,
Yeah, you can probably afford
three grand's a
$3,000.
drop in the bucket, but I could
Uh,
buy like 2 Sonics for that.
Chunkier Mango. I mean, on a different ECU, you could go as high as you wanted, but
Yeah.
Standalone.
yeah.
That's generally the one step that takes a car from like, I want to continue to mod this to where I don't want to do this anymore though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't even really, none of our ZZP cars are running a standalone. Like-
Sling is.
Oh yeah, the
The
slingshot,
Slingshot.
is, I guess.
But we sell a plug and play harness
Yeah.
yeah.
through Haltech.
But,
Tim
like-
and I have had this conversation before because I'm like, I'd like to put a standalone in and see what happens, but we want to modify cars how you guys can modify cars.
Yeah.
Because
Because as soon as we take that away,
yeah,
then it's like
there's no real
you know.
finish line for anybody when
Yeah.
Yep.
you put a $3,000 setup in a $2,000 car like
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean the fact that we made nearly 600 wheel on the Sonic stock PCM
Mhm.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
And
would it be
anybody
cool?
could do it.
Like, would it be cool? Yeah, but as a company, we want to make stuff that you guys can, purchase and you guys can replicate at home.
Yeah, because if you're buying a car for $3,000, you're not going to buy a $3,000 stand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Modern diesels. That's a whole nother.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah. I'm glad that we don't do
Yes.
that.
Talk about
stuff.
EPA stuff.
I do. Have we ever gotten any diesel cruises yet? Anybody
No.
send in? Is a different computer? and all that fun stuff?
People email us, but like I wouldn't even know where to start with a diesel.
You
So
just add
it's
fuel.
like-
More fuel. Upgrade P pump. More fuel. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
It's gotta
it's
be,
like,
it can't be an E78. It's gotta be
No.
something else.
yeah. I mean, we've made what 850 something wheel horsepower on the 3800 on the stock ECU.
Yep.
Darn near 600 wheel horsepower on the Sonic ECU, and 898
Yep.
wheel horsepower on
900
on the LSJ stock
Yeah.
ECM, and the LNF is what
716.
716
Yep.
wheel
That
horsepower on the
was
stock ECM.
A
So
decade ago.
yeah,
And I mean, the 898 was a decade ago as well.
Yeah.
But
It's
Yeah.
hard to argue with the ease of the stock PCM.
Yeah.
And the drivability that you get with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah, I mean, if all you want is a drag car, sure,
Yeah.
standalone makes sense. But
We could talk all day about this.
yep, we could. And we are past time. It's 5:08.
Oh, it
Uh,
certainly is.
Go with a quick. What are we doing this weekend? Starting with you, Randy.
Ooh, I have family in town, so we'll probably do some Grand Rapids restaurants tomorrow. We have a race on Sunday. I think some folks from here are doing a 5K. Myself and my wife Katie are doing the 10 miler. So
Nice.
doing that. I mean, I might do old man stuff tomorrow. Maybe mow my lawn,
Eh.
yell at some kids.
Yell at some kids.
some
I-
F1 this weekend, right?
Yep, Singapore. Hopefully, be watching that on Sunday morning. Although no, it's a night race, but yeah, going out to Frankenmuth tomorrow. Well, going up to Ludington tonight to meet Erica's parents, and then we're going out to Frankenmuth tomorrow to hang with my parents for Oktoberfest and the rest of my family, and then if this dude responds, maybe go see a Saab on Sunday.
Oh, I forgot to add. I'm doing 60s on my Encore, so I can do 85 next week.
Yep.
Why not? Why not? It's a Buick.
Yep.
It wants the boost.
It wants the boost.
Yeah.
It's not 100.
Yeah, I've got F1, and our bowling league is starting on Saturday, so
Okay.
do old people things there,
Oh, I
and
love
then a 5K Sunday, so I can eat whatever I want the rest of the day.
Nice.
So that's good.
I'm going to lift some weights, tinker in the garage,
Nice.
and watch the Lions on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
NFL football.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to the chat for being,
Chatty.
pretty active, pretty chatty. But we'll catch you next week. Send us your rides. We've got a lot to go over, so this might be a
Might be multiple
multi-week
parts,
process. If you have too much beer, you can crash on my cabin. Your cabin is sweet, Brad. That'd be great. But anyway, we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Later.
Peace.